What's up, y'all? Your girl, Sandy. Okay, so honestly, I don't even really know what the topic of this video is going to be. I just thought I'd come in and just say what's up to y'all for real, because, you know I love to talk to y'all, and that's pretty much why my videos are so daggone long, and I apologize for those of you who really don't like those long videos, but that's kind of how I do. I like to make sure that I'm giving y'all information, but I really like to talk to y'all. I don't like to just kind of talk at the camera, you know what I mean? So, anyway, I don't know, I'm in a kind of a vlogging mood today. I'm just, you know how you just have those moments where you're just thinking about a lot of stuff, and you're just kind of like, I don't know, I'm having one of those, not an epiphany, but one of those like little whimsical moments where you're kind of just like, wow, you know, stuff's just different. Things done changed, you know what I mean? But anyway, I'm just chilling in the cut, no makeup on. Probably look a little tired because today was kind of crazy on the roads. We had some snow, and it was crazy. So, and they didn't pre-treat the roads or whatever. So many freaking accidents, and we went hard in the paint on the news today. So we actually went 3 hours past our normal broadcast time. So we were really on the roads today because there were so many accidents. So I was up really, really early, a lot earlier than I normally have to be. I have to be at work typically at 4:30, but I was there at like 3 something in the morning this morning. So anyway, so this is me, no makeup, just chilling in the cut. Hennessy, no ice up in this mug. All right. So anyway, I don't know, just having one of these moments. And here's the deal. Honestly, what kind of brought this on is lately I've been getting a lot of emails and tweets and really just direct messages more so than anything, not tweets per se where they're public, but direct messages. I've been getting direct messages on Twitter, a lot of direct messages on Facebook, and a lot of direct messages on YouTube. And it's really been, as of the last probably couple of months, I've been getting a lot of questions and comments and, you know, requests to kind of talk about the topic of confidence. And I've seen other YouTubers do it before where they've talked about different things. Because I think, you know, other people have been, you know, asked to do a video on that topic before too. Especially not everyone's very comfortable with being in front of the camera on YouTube and putting their stuff out on display for people to kind of, you know, critique or whatever. Because there's always someone that will say something, you know what I mean? Good or bad, you know? And I've been wanting to kind of address the topic for the longest time. I've just never really known how to really kind of approach it because the reality of it all is, there's so many things that you can kind of say, you know what I mean? But I don't know. With all that's in my head right now, I'm just going to kind of go off the dome, all right? So here's what's up. I've been getting a lot of requests from people and comments and stuff about just the fact that I seem to exude a lot of confidence, and I come across as a very confident person, and I have received some comments, you know, and they've been positive comments, just, but things where I've had people come to me and just say, you know, I don't have the confidence that you have. I wish I had the confidence that you have, and that kind of thing. And, you know, I admire you for whatever reason or whatever the case. And I so appreciate that. And I love receiving feedback. You know, I love that, you know, and I do try to respond back. And the thing is that it kind of puts me in a weird place because I'm always like, I don't want to make it seem like I'm just so ridiculously confident. Like, I don't have my weak moments. Like, I don't have moments where I don't, where I'm, you know, kind of like, whoa, you know, I'm not really sure of myself type of thing. So here's kind of how I figured I'd kind of address it. I know a while back I had talked to you guys in one of my last vlogging videos about kind of how I got the position at the station that I'm at right now. And because not everyone knows, maybe for some of my newer subscribers, I am a traffic reporter at a local news station here in St. Louis. And I've worked over the last few years in television, but more doing fluff things that more seemed like my personality, the personality that y'all know on YouTube, you know, me acting a fool, you know what I mean, and didn't go to school for broadcast journalism. I went to school and got a communications degree, but my whole focus wasn't television. Now, I've always wanted to do something on television, which is why I went to start working at the first television station that I worked at the last few years. It was just to kind of get my feet wet, and that's basically what I did. The job that I have now as a traffic reporter was just one of those things that was just a blessing from God, and that's the honest to God truth. But I truly believe that a part of that is I think I kind of created the path that kind of got me there, and not realizing that I had. Okay, so let me give you an example. For instance, I've always been an outspoken person. You know, I've always been always been the optimist for the most part. I am very much a realist, but I've always tried to look at the positive things, the positive side of things, okay, in life in general, right? And I've always been super duper outlandish. I really don't have much of a filter. I mean, YouTube is probably the closest I've ever gotten because I try not to cuss too much because I know there's a lot of younger people that do watch my channel too, okay? But on some real, I cuss like a mofo, okay? But reality is, I mean, I'll say the things that most, I mean, men wouldn't say. You know what I'm saying? Or would be hesitant to say. Because I mean, I just don't have a filter for the most part. You want me to, you ask me a question, I'm going to be straight up honest with you. That's just what it is. It's Hennessy, no ice up in this mug, okay? So, throughout just throughout my life, there's always been people that have somehow tried to hold me back. And when I say that, I mean, it's always been the criticism of, you know, why you gotta be like that? And you're just too much. And, you know, always trying to put me in a box. And you need to act like this. And you should be like this and act a certain way and speak a certain way, you know. And I've just never been that person. I've never been the person that's ever followed what people tell me to do. I'm very much the polar opposite of that. So when someone tells me you need to stop and you shouldn't do and yada, 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 I am the first to do the complete opposite of what they said. And it's not to be rebellious or whatever, because that's just literally not how it is. It's just, I've never been someone who follows the leader. I've always considered myself a leader. Now, I wasn't always like this. When I was a lot younger, I was a lot more insecure about a lot of different things, and I still have insecurities, don't get it twisted. But what I've learned to realize over time, and as I've grown up and as I've grown into myself, I've learned, you know, to accept any of the faults, the issues, whatever that I'm not exactly the fondest of, and just to make as much out of it as I can. You know, use the attributes that I know I have, that I know, you know, make me me. And, you know, the things that I'm not exactly as comfortable with, you know, it's, you know, God made me this way. So I love it, and I love every bit of it, regardless of, you know, I may say, okay, well, you know, I may not feel comfortable in a bikini or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know, God gave me what I have, and it is what it is. I'm gonna work with what I got, you know what I'm saying? So, anyway, all throughout my life, I've always been told, I should be and act a certain way. People have always tried to hold me back. It's always been the case. And I've dealt with that forever and ever and ever. And I've had friends of mine that I've literally had to let go. And I've told them, look, you know, this isn't me. I'm not going to do what you say, because that's not how we do's up in here, and that's not how I roll. And, you know, if you're not comfortable with it, unless I'm doing something detrimental to somebody else or to myself, you need to either roll with it or be up easy. And that's it. I just don't have a lot of tolerance for that. And I don't have a lot of tolerance for negative people either. But it took time, you know, for me to get to the point where I'm at right now. As far as, you know, and it's not necessarily just confidence. It's literally just believing. It's the whole notion of believing in yourself. When I was a lot younger, especially when I was even when I was in grade school, I was always a very active child. I was always very much, you know, playing with the kids and hanging out and blah, blah. And, you know, I always said the bad words. I was the first to say bad words or whatever, and yada, yada. I mean, there was a point in time where one of our school teachers told my parents, and this is real talk right now on some real stuff. One of the teachers, the actual principal of the school that I was at in grade school, told both my parents, okay, at the same time, that they needed to put me on Ritalin, and they needed I'm a lost cause. I mean, this principal literally said, and I remember his name to this day, okay? Still remember his name to this day. And that person told my parents that I was pretty much a lost cause and that I need to go ahead and get put on Ritalin because they thought I was too hyperactive, and that was it, you know, just let it go, whatever. You know, she's a lost cause, okay? Because she's too rambunctious, she's just loud and this, that, and the other. And the reality was, that was how I expressed myself. I've always been a loud person. I've always been that way. And I wasn't to the point where it was ridiculous. And, I mean, Ritalin was ridiculous. That's the most ridiculous suggestion ever in life. However, you know, it was a different time, a different decade, you know what I mean? And so it was just, this is the kind of stuff that I've always dealt with, you know what I mean? So as I've grown up, as I've come into my own, I've always known I was meant to do something. You know what I'm saying? And always known that I was meant to make an impact. Didn't know how I was going to do it. You know what I mean? Didn't know what path I was going to take, but I was always, and the one thing that I always knew was that I was always going to stay true to me, and I was always going to create my own path the way I saw fit, and being the person that I am, and always remaining true to that, and avoiding anyone negative and any naysayers that have any reason to want to come and take me down or bring me down or make me feel like I'm doing things wrong, whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? So, and I apologize if I'm just going all over the place, but I'm kind of just letting you guys know, especially for those who have contacted me and just reached out, you know, first and foremost, like, don't ever believe in a million years that there's never been a point in time in my life that I wasn't insecure and that I was never down on myself. Absolutely, absolutely, without a doubt. I went through my awkward stages for many, many years. I've had so many people tell me, you know, try to, you know, take me down, put me down, you know, even from when I was in grade school. I mean, the principal at my school told my parents that I was a lost cause, just to let it go. And my parents would have never in a million years. My parents are extremely self-righteous and very, very much like me in a lot of different ways, and especially my mama. And they were not hearing that. They yanked me right out that school and put me in another grade school where I flourished. And I still continued to be the person I was. I flourished, though. And it was fine, you know. But it's just one of those things where, like I said, it's just, there's a lot more to a lot of different things. But I'm just kind of giving you guys a little bit of perspective. So fast forward many years later at the age that I'm at now. And I'm looking at the time because I know I'm long-winded. But and I look at where I was about a year ago, okay? And I'm kind of saying this because I'm kind of a little nostalgic about this, okay? I'm just all fluttered right now because it's kind of emotional for me. And if I was to really say to y'all that a year ago I would never have thought that I was going to be in this position right now, I ain't even lying. Like, not even close. I had no idea that I'd be here. And when I say that, I mean, didn't know I would have a job as a reporter at a news conglomerate ever in life. A reporter? Me? Okay, number one, some of my newer subscribers may not know this, but I have tattoos. Tattoos everywhere, y'all. I mean, I'm not your most normal, I'm not your standard traffic reporter, okay? I've got tattoos on my legs, my feet, my ankle. I love tats, okay? And my mom hates them and my dad hates them, but like I said, I've just always danced by the beat of my own drum. And I mean, I have a tat on my hand, which is so unheard of, okay? You don't really see reporters rocking tats. But, so a year ago, I would have never in a million years ever thought that I'd be in the position that I am right now. And I know I told you guys a long time ago I was going to let you guys know kind of how I got the job at the station where I'm at right now. And I won't go into too long of a story because it would take another 30 minutes. But long story short, I was actually discovered. And I was discovered in the most unbelievable place. And one day I'll let you guys know that. But discovered in the most unbelievable place and for the most unbelievable of reasons. And when I say that, I mean it was just kind of one of those things where they found out about me through, you know, social networking. And it was one of those things where they were able to have seen some of the stuff that I've done that's more of the fluff stuff, not necessarily the hard news reporting, but the stuff that I've done where I've just been me, had fun, been a goofball in the field, you know, interacting with people, you know, for the other television station that I work for. And they basically contacted me and asked if I'd be interested in the position. Now here's the deal, or interested in auditioning for the position. It was crazy. I thought it was spam. I was like, yeah, right. And then when I found out that it was real when I made contact, and I didn't even know if I should even call, because honest to God, I really didn't think that it was for real. And then when I realized that it could be, I was like, I'm not ready to be a reporter. I'm just being real. I wasn't ready to be a reporter because in my mind, I'm thinking reporter, box, okay? So in my mind, I'm going, ain't no way. When they meet me, they are not even gonna consider me for the position. And that's so ridiculously interesting to say because people automatically assume I just have confidence out the yin-yang. And it's not that I didn't have confidence at that very moment. It's that in my mind, I'm going, this is not what you see reporters rock. This is not a typical reporter, you know what I'm saying? And the way that I act, because at the end of the day, you hire me as a reporter at your television station, I'm gonna be me. I'm not gonna be, I mean, minus the cuss words, but I've never been I can't be stiff. I've never been the news reporterish type, I guess. You know what I mean? In the I guess the stereotypical way to think of it. And so, my husband was like, you need to call. So I finally called and made contact. And one of the first things I was telling him, I was like, look, I'm letting y'all know I'm a lot, okay? And this is me being real. I'm a whole heck of a lot, okay? And, you know, realize that you getting into something, I don't know. I mean, I'm just a lot. And, you know, do you know I have a YouTube channel? And do you know, I wanted them to know everything because I didn't want any surprises. I didn't want them to be like, oh, wow, we didn't expect all of that. You know what I'm saying? And for them to just be like, oh, never mind, you know. And they were like, oh, no, we're very well aware. And I mean, it was very shocking. The whole thing was shocking. But long story short, I went through a very long audition process for the position. And I was up against some amazing people. Amazing people that have had much more experience. And when I say that, I mean real experience in on television, on news channels. I'd never done that before. Ever been on a news channel before. Ever. Okay? In any kind of reporter capacity. Nor have I ever done anything at the television station that I was working for at the time in that capacity whatsoever. Okay? And so it was probably one of the most emotionally draining experiences I've ever dealt with, but it was the most spiritually uplifting audition processes processes in general in life, experiences that I've ever been through. I had to overcome so many fears. So many fears. I had a huge fear of live TV. And anyone who knows me, who's worked with me at STL TV, knows anytime that I've ever subbed for anybody on anything that they've done live on STL TV, I sweat like bullets. And I literally sweat. You can see it on my face on television, sweat like bullets, to the point where I would never even release it because it looks absolutely horrendous. And I looked pale as all get out because I was nervous and scared. And because I could never do live TV. So one of the biggest things that I had to get past during this whole audition process was getting past my fear. And many fears, and I mean many fears. The auditioning fear, the fear of just even having a little bit of that self-doubt where you're like, they're not going to look at me because I don't have that experience. I didn't go to school for broadcast journalism. I've never been a reporter. I've never done anything reporter-ish in my life. To having to go in there and kill it. And kill it every time because it was the longest audition process ever. I cried over it. And I mean, I would leave after the audition and it was such a crazy experience and I was so much on edge and I was so much, you know, I wanted to kill it every time. And when I would leave, it was so emotional for me because, you know, every time I went and auditioned, it was another test of some fear that I had, you know. And so I would, you know, get in my car and I'd call my husband and I'm like, oh my God, I think I did okay. And I get really emotional about it. One of my best friends, actually, I talk to her a lot on the phone too. And she has a news media background. And she would hear me cry, you know, too. And because I didn't tell anybody when I was going through the audition process at all. I just went through it on my own. Outside of my husband, you know, of course, and her. But one of the most trying, most spiritually trying and uplifting experiences I've ever been through in my entire life. In my heart of hearts, I knew I was going to get the job, but it's just one of those things where there were so many things that, I don't know. There's, you know, you think about the people that you're up against, you know that they could possibly kill it too and look better than you because they have way more experience. And I just went in there every time and just thought to myself, you know what, just kill this mofo. You know what I'm saying? Just knock it out and make them regret. If they ever thought that they couldn't hire you, make them regret that they didn't. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, I guess what I'm trying to say is, never, ever think you can't do something in your life. Ever. You know, if there's anything in your life that you've ever wanted to do, pursue it. Believe me, a year ago I would have never thought in a million years I would ever be in the position that I am now. I still drive to work every day, and I have moments where I'm in the car on the way to work at the butt crack of dawn. Like, I can't believe I'm heading into my job, and my job is a reporter at a television station on a news channel. You know, I would have never in a million years thought that would have been me. A year ago, if someone was to say, well, what's coming up? What's in the future for you? This wouldn't have been it. I had no idea that this was coming, but I knew I was searching for something. I knew there was something meant for me to do out there, and I asked for it. I prayed on it. And I asked for it. I didn't know it was going to be that, but God has a mysterious way of doing things. So I don't know. And it's 20 minutes in, so I apologize. I just wanted to share that with you guys. I think it's so easy for people to believe that, you know, I'm always confident all the time and everything has been so rosy and grand in my life, and that's not the case. I'm like everybody else, and I still am, you know. I've got faults and flaws like everybody else, and insecurities like everybody else. And the biggest thing I can tell you is, no matter what, never let anybody hold you back. Never let anybody put you in a box. Never let anybody tell you can't do something. And create your own path. You know, do it the way that you'd want to do it. Because I know the way that I did it, even in my auditions, I was still me. Crazy Sandy. I was still me during my auditions. And you would crack up if you saw some of those audition tapes. You would crack up because I was just like I am on YouTube. Crazy, acting a fool, trying to make them laugh during my auditions. But that's who I wanted to make sure that I stayed. I wanted to stay as true to myself as I could. Because if I was going to get this job, it was going to be because they wanted me personally, myself, and not some facade, not what was expected of somebody in that position. You know what I'm saying? So just remember, you guys, I mean, real talk, stay true to yourself. No matter what, never let the naysayers hold you back. And I know it's so much easier said than done to just always keep your confidence up and always believe in yourself. But trust me when I say, you know, just no matter what, create your own path. Be who you want to be. And whatever it is that you want in life, work for it and work hard at it, and you will get there. Trust me. Trust me when I say this. So, that's a long video, I know. And I apologize. Thankfully, there's fast forward and rewind. But anyway, I just want to kind of come in, pop in, say hi to everybody. I hope I kind of touched on it. I'm kind of going off the dome. Y'all know how it is. Apologize for the long video. Just had a little moment. And I've been getting a lot of those emails. And I wanted to make sure that I, you know, at least talked about it a little bit or whatever. But anyway, if you have any questions or comments or anything, leave them down below. Y'all already know I love y'all. And as always, follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/SocialiteSandy. And of course, friend me on Facebook, facebook.com/TheSocialiteLife. And as always, follow my blog, TheSocialiteLife.blogspot.com. And you already know, I love y'all. And I really mean that. I love y'all to death. And I hope everything's well. And I'll see y'all in the next video.